You got the go up the top of this frame here.
Here?
No.
There you're
Right here.
on. Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Who's in media land there?
Morning.
I got something for you. Now, we probably won't have time this morning, but
Al,
I got something else.
and I see two commissioners.
Morning, Richland County.
Morning, how are you?
On
Ready?
Good. Got two there or three?
Well, there's three of us,
Okay.
and two at the moment.
Okay.
We didn't think you were going to show up there, Colonel Sanders.
Early.
This is chicken.
Extended this petition out.
I'm going to do it until he retires. Oh, yeah, these trees are difficult to count. Oh.
I heard the previous engineer was moving back here so he could run against you.
He might.
Made that up now.
Oh.
How I made that up.
I did talk with him and he is thinking about possibly running for a county engineer's position.
Not in this count, is he?
Not in this county.
Are you serious?
It's crossed his mind. What county? Where's he living?
Look, don't record this.
Lives on-
He came to was it the Jim Jordan thing where he was handing out articles about himself?
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
He came to it without a ticket.
What's that?
He came to it without a ticket.
He came to without a ticket. I love it.
Carl, I want you to do these plans for us, all right? I can't count that.
You guys got everything in Crawford County under control?
No.
At least you're honest.
Yeah.
Quick answer.
We could always bring Mo back.
Hey, that'd be entertaining.
Errol and I were presidents of the Mo fan club.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'll let Mo know.
I love Mo. Remember, he's like, I hadn't had a drink in years, and I got him a drink at the Commissioners Association beer party. A wonderful thing. Next thing I know, he was 18 vodkas in.
I don't think you want to say that out loud. Tom.
No, he's not recording it.
Stories end with the phrase 18 bucks.
Whose meeting is this? Are we supposed to record it or are you recording it?
It's not 9:30 yet, Crawford. We are true stewards of the Ohio Revised Code, and we sent out a public notice.
Well, my slow
3
clock,
seconds.
my slow clock
recording it.
says 9:29 and Verizon says it's 9:30, so.
9:30 now.
We'll go with Verizon.
I'm recording the meeting since it's a joint ditch meeting.
So I don't need to record.
Al Lawrence is a better journalist.
Cliff, I believe you're
But this is my show, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, it is.
Taxpayer show, pal.
Taxpayer show. It is 9:30 on Tuesday, June 7th. Call to order the Joint Board of County Commissioners with our friends from Crawford County.
morning.
Morning.
We sure they're our friend?
Yeah,
I am.
they're great pals.
As long as you're buying donuts, we'll be your friend.
We ordered them. Did they get there?
Virtual.
Yeah.
Virtual.
Sure,
down.
donut emoji over there.
Virtual donuts.
Yeah, they ran out of gas on the way here.
Well, maybe if we had donuts, should have been here in person, but as it is, we're online.
Okay.
Commissioners Weissenauer, Lay, and Schmidt.
Yeah.
Crawford County, beautiful Crawford County.
And our,
I'm joined by Commissioner Banks, Commissioner Vero, our clerk Stacy Crawl. We have Al Lawrence from the News Journal online. We have Carl Hunnell from Richland Source here in person, along with Adam Gove, our county commissioner, and
No, he's an engineer
Go ahead. Sorry, engineer. I said commissioner. I said commissioner.
right here in front of him.
You almost got a demotion.
Well, like you guys have fun just like we do here.
County engineer. And Andrew Keller, our county administrator. And we are here to discuss the joint county ditch petition number 21-001 for the Black Fork to consider granting an extension to county engineer Adam Gove to file his reports, plans, and schedules as provided by Ohio Revised Code for a delay back to September 1st. And with that, unless there are any questions initially, I'll turn that over to Adam Gove for explanation.
Okay. So as I sent over in the letter, we have been making progress with our plans, specifications, and estimates. There's still some more items we need to go through, some steps that we need to perform before we're ready for to file our final report. One of them being the coordination. There's several departments in the state that we have to coordinate these plans with. Now that we've got our plans in a spot where we feel they're 95% complete, we are going to send these out to those departments, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, Ohio Department of Transportation, Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. I believe Ohio Revised Code gives them 30 days to respond with any comments that they want to incorporate. So we will have to wait for their comments back. The inventory of all the log jams and trees was completed in mid-March. That's when we started our plan development. We are probably looking at an increased cost. As you know, our original estimate was developed off of the drone footage. Soil and Water actually did in-person inventory over the winter. Came up with about 7,000 trees they felt needed removed. That was compared to 1,000 in our original estimate.
7,000.
7,000. I don't know that they all need to be removed, and that's something we can work through if the project is approved at the final hearing and go to construction. That number may vary. It may be lower. I think some trees were marked that were in the channel, but straight and healthy. I think we can leave to help stabilize those banks. We're really looking for the ones that are leaning, or have fallen, or dead. I think those are the ones we want to get out of there. Log jams, we were pretty close. We had 200 log jams in our original estimate. We're looking at about 135 jams or trees in the river and an additional 99 piles along the banks of the river that were left from the private pursuit of cleaning out that stream that we can take care of as long as it's within that easement as part of the maintenance. So that's basically where we're at. I feel like we've made some good progress. There's just still some more steps we've got to get complete. We are working through the final assessments, developing those. We are dealing with 10,500 parcels. Trying to assign an assessment to all those parcels has proven to be a little bit difficult, but we've had some help with the IT people here in the county that handle the auditor's website, the map that you see on the county auditor's website. So we're getting close. We're just not there yet.
Will you be sending your report to the different agencies that you mentioned, giving them 30 days?
I believe we can do that by the end of this week, early next week.
Once they receive them, they have
30 days. Yeah. So we're basically looking at the middle of July to have those comments back.
Now, are all the property owners cooperating, or is there still a couple that's protesting?
I, there's nothing really that's needed from the property owners at this time. There were, I know, a couple incidents as the Soil and Water District was doing their inventory. I believe there's one out there right now that's maybe upset with what's been performed so far. So,
Pretty good percentage of considering all the property owners.
yeah, I believe there's
800 property owners, I think it's something like that. One real serious complaint.
there's 128 property owners that own property along the stream that would be subject to an easement.
The ones that recently protest, is that going to hold up the project?
At this point, no, I don't think there's anything that would keep us from having a final hearing once we have those final plans and specifications filed.
So we went from an estimate of 1,000 trees to 7,000 trees and 200 log jams to 234.
Correct.
That's kind
So
of,
the log jams are pretty close.
And obviously, any tree that's healthy, holding back the bank, standing straight up.
I think those would be good to leave there. Yes.
No idea how many of them are like that, but it'd be,
No, they didn't distinguish between those in their inventory study.
and from my conversations, there are going to be some judgment calls as to which have to go and which can stay that are on the bank, and perhaps maybe the Black Fork has undercut the tree, but the roots are still intact and it's still a vertical tree. So judgment will have to be made as to whether that for some reasonable amount of time can still stay right without falling in.
so what you're asking for is, I think you need, Cliff, is a motion to extend the report until September the 1st.
Before I call for the motion, anything from our friends in Crawford County?
No,
Gentlemen?
no, I just was concerned about property owners holding the project up.
We've given them your address, Commissioner Weisenhower, in case they want to protest like Amy Acton and Judge Alito. So if you have any sidewalks, they'll be out there appropriately.
Okay, we have protesters in front of the courthouse occasionally.
We had some too. They had candles and a bagpipes.
No, my.
Comes with the territory.
Personally, they just carried their windmills with them. Ours did.
Yeah. Ours had a ladder and candles.
Yeah.
Carl, any questions at all?
So the count was completed, you had 7,000 trees instead of 1,000. Any idea percentage wise, how much the cost is going to increase that based upon those numbers?
Not yet, but I'd say maybe a time and 1.5 times.
Would it take, I mean, what you've got to evaluate is cost versus benefit. How much gap was there? Do you anticipate you'll still be within that in terms of that cost benefit analysis?
If you remember, I think the benefits were less than the cost, or yes, benefits were less than the cost in a 1-year term.
Initially, yeah.
Right.
So it depends on how many years you look at those benefits. So I think these, the benefits will still outweigh the costs when looking at a multi-year.
And the costs are drastically cut after the first go through, obviously.
Yeah, the original project construction cost is one time.
Right.
And the maintenance costs are, at max 20% of that original.
Well, I would make a motion to extend the report deadline to September 1st. Commissioner Weisenhower.
Have a second?
Commissioner Banks will second it.
Commissioner Weisenhower,
Aye.
Commissioner Lay,
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Thank you all for attending.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion. Do we vote on the adjournment?
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Bye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Next time there has to be donuts involved.
You can pay.
See you guys.
Checks in the mail.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Adam? Is Adam still there?
Yeah,
He's
hold
here.
on.
Oh, okay.
Even though one was done by drone, that's a pretty significant difference between what you saw on the drone and what they saw in person.
So by drone, it's really hard to distinguish which ones are leaning, which ones are right along the edge of the bank, which ones may be undercut by the stream, as well as those that may be dead. I believe the drone footage was in the winter, so a lot of trees look bare. So you're really trying to distinguish between which ones are dead and which ones are just dormant.
Okay, Al, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't realize Carl was asking a question. When was the original deadline, Adam?
I believe it was the end of May.
So you can know that he's very, very tardy with his report.
Yes, I'll bet he's very thorough too.
Thank you, Al.
Um,
Had it done by now.
Other question, since we're dealing with tough economic times, you kind of indicated the expenses were going to be more. How much of that is due to the additional work and how much do you feel might be attributed to the current economy and rising prices?
I don't know that I know the percentage between the two, but they're definitely both a factor in the increased cost, excuse me. Obviously, the more work that needs to be done out there, the more it's going to cost. And we're talking about having equipment, some hauling, and an increase in fuel expenses for whatever contractor would be doing the work. They both definitely play a role in that increased cost.
Once work gets started, how long, will this project take, do you think?
Since they're limited in what time they can actually get in there and cut trees, it'll hopefully be, they can get it completed in one winter season, I would hope.
You can't get in because of the Indiana brown bat, right?
Correct. You can't cut during certain times of the year. So there'll be a window that they'll be able to work. If they don't complete the work, we can extend the contract. We could even allow them extra time in the initial bid documents, give them more than one season if they feel they need it. It's something that all can be decided at a final hearing.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
A lot of trees to cut.
You're gonna put a roundabout somewhere along.
Along the Blackboard.
Nowhere.
You ready?
So Adam, looking back, do you think having used a drone was more helpful?
It's in my mind.
I still think it's a good tool, but
It is a good
it's really so far off from what you see on the ground and what came up with, actual physical count.
Probably depends on the type of project you still do. In this situation where you have a lot of tree cover that you can't see everything.
It's a great, convenience to be able to see it and scroll and point in certain areas, but
But to say we're gonna have a viewing and hey, we're all gonna walk 18 miles.
right, you can't, it's not practical either.
Yeah, somebody I heard fell down, right?
I know.
Hardly-
You make it to the initial site. Sorry, Stacy.
That is my roundabout.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Did they get started on time? Did they round?
Yes, yeah. Post some pictures here, as much as I don't want to.
Send them to me out there.
Has there ever been anything posted around about etiquette and rules?
There is
Yeah, drive fast.
a website.
Avoid them, detour around them.
Oh,
You did go into detour signage.
Yeah, we want to make sure everybody knew where to go. There is stuff, and we are going to kind of put a push as we get closer to the end of the project to put some stuff out there. Since there's only one other one in the county, just to
Sure.
Build more.
That one's between here and home.
Say roundabout?
Roundabout.
Guessing what everybody else is gonna do when they're in them.
yeah, just don't stop when you're in it. Don't stop.
They're safe, but they're not popular. In my opinion, I
Yeah.
get complaints
The generator,
regularly about them.
it'll take 20 years.
How many,
Well,
Adam
How
Go
many-
song right here.
how many injury, Adam, how many injury accidents have you had at that roundabout?
So it's not ours, it's the city of Mansfield, but there's been 0 injury accidents since.
And it's too small.
Yeah.
Right size.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's larger.
Well, I forgot what the title of that song is. That's right.
outer circle.
Who did that?
Yes.
Yeah, come on. Yes. '70s, I think.
Can we go on? You're delaying us.
We're engaged in conversation.
We are like the Jet Express. We run on time, so get the hell out of here, Go.
Commissioner Barry, you have to.
Yet another
convene.
elected official.
What?
We have to convene.
I know, I'm waiting for Go to leave so we can start the meeting. Can we go now? Are we recording?
I've been recording.
Okay. It's 9:48 in the morning. Your Richland County Board of Commissioners are now in session. For the minutes, we are 3 minutes late due to County Engineer Adam Gove. So I'd like the minutes to reflect that. At this time, we are joined by, we have Commissioner Banks here, Commissioner Mears. Han and Chewy are not in remote land today. One of them is here and the other is in media land. We have Andrew Keller, our County Administrator, and our DMI Director, and not our favorite TASIF, Lee. So come on up.
Correct for the record. Run destination Mansfield, Richland County. May I approach the bench?
Yes, yes.
Oh, boy.
Bailiff. take his
Bailiff, can
documents.
you tase him? What, no Maryland in the magazine this year?
No.
Upgrade.
Those were like Bob Ross things.
How did you pick Brian Souter, by the way? Brittany's pretty, but Brian's hideous.
How we do that?
Doug Brown made the freaking.
Doug Brown.
I thought we wanted to sell. I thought we wanted to encourage people to come into our community.
Yeah.
Put Brian Souter, Doug Brown, and our new.
We can make anybody famous.
Oh, you're in it. Look at this guy.
That's actually kind of a first. That really doesn't happen.
They're getting your tattoo.
Yeah, yeah. No, staying the hell away from the tattoo. Yeah. I'll have a different shirt so you can take 2 pictures. Just kidding.
Did you purposely have this one banner upside down? Backwards?
Which one?
Yeah, page 1.
Oh, yeah. We're cleaning everything, incarceration. Everything was completely dusty and dirty and we were out hosing stuff off. So that was actually a candid shot for the fun of it that our designer thought would be a pretty fun addition. So we're like, okay, we'll put it in.
You got Brad and Karen Smith out on the Deer Ridge.
Yep. One of the things we have fun with is adding people to the stuff we do. So people start recognizing locals. There's no models hired from out of town unless there's something very specific we can't find. So if you ever get that call from us, jump in. See how you can. But anyway, in front of you, you've got the brand new, first time we printed in 3 years, Shawshank Trail brochure. Been killed the last 2 iterations of it. So now it is back and it's being distributed widely, which we're happy to be back. You've got our annual report here. One of the things you'll notice is it starts out looking like we used to, our colors. And then it starts to change and it starts to adapt to the new brand, which is a theme that'll be carried out here. And then you've got obviously you've already been helping distribute the new visitor guides and it's, yep. And it's all,
Branding is more than a logo, Cliff.
it is a story. It's who,
It is a story of who you are.
the logo is a stamp to put on it to connect it all.
I see how much I paid attention.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That whole story about turning tenacity into triumph and all that. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe.
But I'm going to cover most of my stuff. I'm gonna veer into branding and then close out with stuff from what we do. But a little branding 101. How did we get here? Well, this all came out of the Mansfield Rising project. It started 3 years ago, financially supported by numerous entities, including the county, to get us rolling. Branding consultant was chosen almost 3 years ago. Immersion was paused right ahead of COVID, unfortunately. So we waited until July of last year to finally get it going. And then the brand story, 2 ad concepts were chosen in 2021. It took forever, it seemed, to get to the logo to finish it, but we did it. Turn to the first page in the handout I gave you. You see multiple different logos here. You've got a Mansfield centric logo. You've got a Richland County one. They all have the same design. The names change, but it's all identifiable. Anytime you'll ever see this logo, it's connected. Whether it says Shelby, Lexington, Belleville, Ontario, Plymouth, Shiloh, Lucas. Yes, we have logos for everybody, as well as just one for Richland County. And that one just says a family of communities. Part of the concept was to pull the entire county together under the new brand and also have it be individualized when necessary. So when you have an individual community referenced, it says a Richland County community. If you need Ohio, we've got Ohio. The Ohio can come out if it needs to, depending on ads. So it's very customizable. Turn to the next page, you've got a series of ads. Some of you have seen these before. The ones on the left page where it says Space for Play, those were created ahead of schedule because we needed them done because of our contracts before the logo got finished. So you see our logo in there, but it's the same Space for content. You move to the right page, you're seeing the first officially built ad with the brand. You've got Space for Play with the bike trail photo. We've also got one customized for Lexington. We do have a Richland County version of that, but it shows you how we can sub the logo in and it makes the ad fine. And then you've got the one for Space for Nature. So there's 3 different ways to use the Space for campaign, which is one of the ones chosen way back last summer. But that, you're looking at tourism related ads. The next page, you've got a Space for Trails and you've got one for Space for Play. You see the kid jumping off? It's a great photo. That is out at Pleasant Hill. It's the first, let's call it generic community-based ad. The text in there has nothing to do with tourism, business, or industry. It's just a couple of quick lines on the community itself. This made it into the back cover of the Mihawk Relays program. It was the first time we did one that was just community oriented in itself. And then you move to the right, you've got Space to Heal, Space to Believe. Those are all, excuse me, those are all photos taken obviously in our medical community here and industrial community, but it shows you the campaign doesn't stay in one lane. It can be used for tourism, general community, or into industry. And you've got Space to Create, Space to Innovate. All those words come from the brand story.
And slim for the Space for Gathering photographs.
Hey, that's the
No, we just started on those.
most beautiful one in here.
Yep. And in fact, I think that's a picture I might have taken. But when you get over to Space for Community, that's bicycle days. And the cool part about it is, again, it now morphs. We went from tourism to community, overall community to industry. And now you're talking about the smaller communities. So you can do that same ad, which is bicycle days and fireworks over it. You can label it Shelby, or you can put the Richland County logo on it. So it shows you the versatility of it. Yeah, when you flip the page, you see the Space for Gathering at the band shell in the park in downtown Belleville. So this just gives you an idea of how this stuff can be utilized across the board. Next page, you've got Make It in Mansfield. Those are pages that appear in our visitor guide. There's profiles on 4 individuals who either were from here, left, came back, or weren't from the area, came here, decided to stick around and found their way to be successful. They all have stories to tell. This is the first time we've tried to bridge the gap from just a straight tourism piece to start to plant in people's heads that this is a pretty cool place to be in general, whether it's to work, have family, get involved. The first one here is Walt Bonham. It's a great connection because we also have a profile on him when it comes to locally sourced food, and he's involved with the urban gardens. The story with Jessica Heiser, one of the comments she makes is that this is a community you can get involved in at a young age. She has other friends who are in larger cities, larger communities. They're not that involved. The way to get involved takes a few more steps because it's larger. Here, you can jump in and have an effect and leave your stamp on the community and help drive it. It's much easier to do that here. It's one of the hallmarks. You got Jason Gwillams, who left and came back. You've got Jodica, regional planning, who she's got some great comments in there that everybody was friendly, said hello. It felt like home. The next page, you've got 2 ads. It says Fabric of Opportunity and Little Pond Big Fish. Those 2 profiles were built from the profiles I just ran through. Those are going to appear in the Chamber's directory. So everything that's being used and developed has multiple outlets for it. And that's just the way they've designed their ads to fit in. So they'll have branding elements built into their directory. The visitor guide is the first all new one built that way. But it shows that nothing's going to waste. Everything's being utilized, and there'll be more collaboration like that coming. Today, a couple of you saw the workforce development video, and if you just stick in case it was the round stamp version of the logo, but it starts to connect. And as long as all those elements show up, anybody looking at us from the outside realizes we are all connected, working together. They recognize something. There's going to be common themes on how we promote the area and put it out there, whether it's, again, dedicated to one community in general, or one community, or the entire county in general. It all is linked together. One of the long page I've got in here that talks about every community must compete. Not as many anymore. Wonder, why did we do a brand? Why'd you spend so much time and money? Well, every community's got to compete with every other community for time, talent, resources, capital, you name it. It all starts with having a story. What's your brand? Who are you? And then how do you portray it? Beyond that, it goes to the implementation thing. You've got a frequency and reach or hallmarks in marketing. You've got to be out there, and you've got to be out there consistently, constantly, and for over the long haul. You just don't throw it up there and then walk away from it. What it's also saying in the words, it's an ongoing process. It doesn't stop. If you want to compete, if you're missing from the marketplace, somebody else is taking your place. We've known that in tourism for a long time. This is all about how do you put the community out there and keep it out there. You can use the brand in some of the ads we saw. You can customize those for intel. You want to get in the way of people searching there and have some of their attention steered up here, whether it's for visiting, living, or working up here for a supplier. You've got versatility built in. Those are the ways you can use the brand and use ads that come from it to constantly have a drumbeat that this is a place you want to pay attention to. So when somebody wonders about the value of marketing or implementation, you're at the core of it. We're proof that you do ongoing marketing long enough and you get attractions or the area to a certain level of marketing you don't have to do anymore. You're accepted, you're known, it's a known quantity. You just remind people of it. On the other hand, like with Buckeye Imagination Museum, which is one of our goals for next year, they're on their ascendancy. They have to arrive. Once they arrive, stories will get picked up on them, writers will come in, that whole process will start. We've done it for OSR, we've helped do it for Kingwood, we've helped done it for the Carousel. It's the next attraction in the pipeline, but the brand also puts the community in the same pipeline. And that's part of what's driving everything. So what's next? You're going to start seeing the elements used. Obviously, you've got our stuff and you see it being used. Chamber's going to use it. RCDG is going to use it. Projects we have in the future, there will be a brand Richland County website that if anybody wants to use the elements of it, you can pull them from there and it tells you how to use them correctly. So it's going to be an open source thing. Columbus has a great example. That's why that example's in there of how people want to use it. There you go. More creative collateral photos, videos. At the bottom of this, we say we're just at the beginning. We have to collect and stock assets, videos, images, you name it, copy, strategize on what niches we're going after. Everything this year will be about prepping for next year. The visitor guide had to be done. We got it done late because we waited for the brand to be finished. But mostly what's going on now is looking at what do we need, whether it's me or Jody or anybody else, to utilize for next year. So we're stockpiling. So we're back out taking photos. We collected over 100 new ones last year. In the visitor guide, 95% of the photos are brand new. Most of the stories are inherently the same, but they're all told different. They now incorporate the brand in it. So our storytelling has changed, but all that stuff had to be taken last year so we could use it this year. You get the idea. Everything has to be done in stages and ongoing. And there's digital marketing to come, website integration. There's some other stuff we got in the hopper that when it's finally all put together, we'll end up coming and tell you about it, whether it's me, Jody, or we tag team it on how stuff's going to move forward. Because there's ideas we have for relocation, workforce development, tourism, gateway sites, all that kind of thing. Everything I've talked about, and you'll hear it from Jody as well, we're all working together. We've been working together for a while. We've just been behind the scenes doing a lot of it. Now you're going to start to see elements of things we're doing that are collaborative, and we're all out, we're out front on it. So it's kind of from that point, it's kind of fun. All right, shifting back to the Bureau, stuff we've got going on. Bird Sanctuary, we help them with a video, promotional video they're working on now because obviously they're one of our poster kids for this year. Kingwood got a 2020, then a redo in 21 thanks to COVID. But this year was the year for the Bird Sanctuary to rise up. There's a lot of things coming together for them, whether I know Chris Harris is behind a lot of the stuff they're doing for fundraising to build them. But they just got some funds from the state. This is their time to rise. So we're helping them do that. Wine and Ale Trail, we've got a video and a storytelling partnership going on with Tourism Ohio, which means they do the marketing. We keep the story and everything that comes with it. We've got doing one for the Art Center because it's their time as well. B&O Trail, we will finish the video footage that we're shooting. We just did a photo shoot last week. We've seen the photos that have come back. So that photo dates back to 2014. It's that old.
Where was that taken at?
Belleville, across from the depot. It's been kind of our iconic shot.
Really? Iconic shot.
About that.
It is. We like the shot because of the you see the bridge in the background.
Or mayor that's brought forth vision and proactivity. So maybe you could upgrade that to get a portrait that more accurately reflects a progressive Belleville.
2014.
Yep. We have a new photo that can take its place.
Yeah, you can.
Family oriented, but the idea was we had to refresh everything.
Does that clock actually work there in the trail?
Most of the time.
It's right twice a day, right?
Hey, our clock on the building works now. That was one of my main priorities when I took office. Like,
Have you ever noticed?
what does it say about government? We can't get a clock to work.
I believe it's working now. A man from Belleville has a shop and he comes.
Very good. We've got stuff on Buckeye Imagination Museum. Again, we're helping to launch. So we've got a photo shoot, a storytelling co-op program, marketing program with Tourism Ohio, again, where stuff resides. So we'll be helping to bring in writers, different things, and getting Fred's Place noticed so that next year, all this stuff kind of hits all at the same time as they're developing. Tourism intelligence, we told you at the end of last year that Smarter, well, we signed all the contracts. We've done a lot of the research and done a lot of homework for the company helping us be smarter. That stuff will get launched later this month. It'll take us a few months to get up to speed. But again, all that's in prep for being smarter for 2023. For this year, fun things, obviously incarceration's coming back in a month. The end of summer, Bigfoot. Bigfoot base camp out at Pleasant Hill, which is getting a lot of attention. We had fun helping them with that one. There's a last weekend in August downtown where you've got Air Power History Tour, Airport Days, you got a Final Fridays concert, you've got the revitalization of the Heart of the City cruising with bands and stuff. Pretty busy weekend. So we're taking the 10,000 foot view and saying that's what we're marketing. We're helping some of the individual events to come out of the ground and to arrive again. That's kind of the investment we're making. But we're also taking and going, okay, cool. Then how do we leverage that to gain attention back to the area? We are looking at signage in the airport, and we're also looking at an aviation tourism niche, which is something we've never tried because the airport was still sleepy. So now it's starting to make its arrival. No pun intended, but that's something we intend to explore to use it. All the highways are gateways to the community. The bike trails are gateway to the community and a leisure product. And now the airport, with what's going on out there, will also help to draw more people in. So it behooves us to be in front of it. So we're working on prototype signage right now. We've been through 3 proofs. We're going to build a mock-up to see what it looks like. So it's kind of fun. Those are the fun things that now that we do it anyway, but now that we got the new brand, it's like, okay, let's all incorporate that. So again, you come into the community, you see something that matches other things that are also coming. Beyond that, if you all are interested, we're happy to contribute the photos that you use. But if you'd like something of the new brand, the Richland County version of it, if you'd like some wall art of that, I'm sure something along those lines can be made available that you can have in here as well. Somebody would be happy to provide that.
What is the Bigfoot attraction?
There's been some random sightings. And so they reached out to a guy named Matt Moneymaker who runs
What's his name?
Matt Moneymaker.
You're
not kidding.
Up, right?
No.
Nope.
Why would I do that? No, that's serious. And
Moneymaker.
yep. And he leads a company who does these things and hosts events. Teach you how to do it. There'll be drones out there searching for. They're pretty. There you go.
Okay.
If you want to stay overnight out there, I think it's pretty much sold out already. And this takes place in the second weekend of September. Pardon?
Bigfoot you're talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I ask is because out of Charles Mill Lake, they had a contest. They had Bigfoot in the woods. And if you found him, you got a gift certificate to the marina.
When was that?
Last summer.
There you go.
I didn't find it.
You were actively looking?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm starting to think less of Commissioner Mears over here.
I don't know if I'll vote for him.
I know.
No, he was out there. They had cut
Yeah.
cardboard
Sure.
things.
And there may be a few of those that pop up around the community.
An alumni
I understand
Bigfoot
for the fun of it.
out there.
But that's an event that it'll work. It'll be successful for Pleasant Hill. And through our PR agency, we sent out a release that got picked up and was running with. So again, how do we leverage something that's happening for the betterment of the community? There you go.
So did I hear you say there's going to be a new website created for Richland County?
We're looking at multiple things, gateway sites. All of it's in theory at the moment.
Oh, all right.
But in other words, if you look at our visitor guide, you don't see any elements of who we used to be or who we are now. We stepped back, the brand went forward. So if you put out a gateway site that people get to, no matter why they're coming to Richland County, it looks like the brand, but you can veer off into government, you can veer off into the chamber, you can veer off into the tourism side. That's what's got to stay out front. And then you find the rest of us after that because we'll all be connected to it. Plus, if you're having a pitch for people to move here, work here, that's a site that has to live online. So there's things like that kind of that dovetail with all this. So no, you don't need to get rid of your website. We'll just give people a different route to find
We are
it.
doing a new website though. Matt Hill's working on it, thankfully.
And we would be ecstatic if you found a way to work the new logo into it somewhere.
I'll put you in contact with the gentleman in Pat's office who's working on the new website. 'Cause we would like to do like a video similar with Delaware County, like a state of the county video, which would be really cool. Maybe you incorporate the new branding into that.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure Mr. Keller would tell us that's a government service that we could utilize ARPA funding for the state of the county video. Is that correct? Look at him. He never wants to
It wasn't-
answer no.
There was a
Speaking up.
1001, 1002, yeah.
Well, if Matt's making the video, it shouldn't cost anything.
No, he's not. Probably be DRM or even, we got to start local.
Have it done professionally.
Yeah, Delaware has an amazing set of videos. Now they spent a pretty chunk of change.
They did.
Delaware, but we saw that, or Cliff saw it. I don't think you were there, Daryl. But it's what they take with them, and it's really well done. Have you've seen it, right? I sent it
Sent the links. I was looking around them. That's why I was curious how often they get viewed and who has them.
on.
It sounds like other agencies are using it, which
Correct.
is exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah.
It's a good model to work off.
Yeah.
Debbie still the CVB director?
On Chewy, you guys got any questions?
I'll leave it at that.
I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you, Mr. Mueller.
Al?
Yeah, Lee, is the new guide gonna be posted online on your website?
Already is.
Come on, Al.
Already
Just
there.
want to make sure you never assume anything.
Nope, it's there. The annual report's online as well.
You could have gone and looked before you asked the question, Mr. Journalist.
Well, I don't have my computer available right now. I'm using a tablet to watch you.
Apparently tablets don't have internet browsers anymore, huh?
No, you're talking to an older person who isn't quite as tech savvy.
Got it.
Al, you're all right. Don't worry about it. You're all right.
Thank
Another
you,
old
dear.
guy talking.
I appreciate
But
it.
we always like seeing you almost as much as Margie. So again, thank you
Dan.
for coming in. We do have questions about your model choices, particularly Doug Brown and Brian Souter, but what are you gonna do?
Technically, Doug wasn't a model. He just
That's
happened.
obvious.
We just archived that they installed the sign for our brochure rack on the back.
Well, we're lucky,
Actually,
lucky to have you. sir.
Yes, we are.
thanks.
We love Lee.
This is fun. This is the fun part. This is what you've been working for a long time.
Put you in touch with Matt Hill. and
Cool.
Maybe work the branding in somewhere on our new website.
Sure.
I think you enjoy what you do.
Oh, I do. It's not boring after 32 years. It's still, there's always been something else to go do.
30.
Yeah, well, you're very good at it.
Yeah. You and me were young back then, Daryl.
We were. About Tony's age.
Daryl was 50 years ago. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Bassett.
Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we have logistical items, but we're heading into 10:15, so we might as well have our dog warden come on up.
Thank you for this.
Welcome. I thought you would enjoy that.
I looked at it online, but I didn't even think about buying a paper copy. So I'll hang that up to the shelter.
All right, Melissa, 10:15.
Okay. So I came here today because I would like to talk about modifying our kennel hours that we have currently. I don't want to change the office hours. The shelter is open from 8:30 to 4:30 daily, Saturdays 10 to 2. What I would like to do is to modify the hours that just the kennel is open to the public and have that start at 11. Simply because number one, it's going to give the staff more time to clean without people coming in. The floors will be dry by the time, because when people come in while we're cleaning, floors are wet, they're hosing everything down.
You're talking about
In the kennels, yeah, we're
tiled floors.
concrete floors. Yeah.
Oh,
So
concrete.
yeah, back in the kennels, it's concrete floors. And then after they clean and the public comes in, they're going to be more available to interact with people and answer potential questions instead of being kind of pulled in several different directions. We will still be open for people to purchase kennel license, dog license. They can still schedule adoptions. They can drop off strays. because we can call people up for that and kind of schedule that. But this way they can focus on cleaning and it'll make the day go a little bit easier.
This is a reduction of 2.5 hours for the kennel, right?
Yeah, for just the kennel to be open for people to walk in and view the dog.
They'll close at 4:30.
They'll close at 4:30.
And the lobby will still be
The
open.
lobby will still be open
Time do you open it?
30.
8:30. That will continue in the lobby.
That will, yeah, we won't change any services at all. We just will restrict viewing to 11 to 4:15 instead of, 8:30 to
And Saturday,
Saturday. We'll keep, I don't really want to push that back too much because Saturdays are shorter hours anyway.
still 10 to 2.
Yeah, it'll still be 10 to 2.
I have no problem with it. So I will make do you need a motion?
Probably should do a motion to adjust the hours as stated by Missy.
I don't think there'll be a pushback from any customers.
No, I don't necessarily think so, because if somebody wants to adopt a dog, we can still schedule a time for them to do it in those hours if that's when they have to come. If that's the only time that they have available, we can make modifications for that. They can still view all the dogs online on our Facebook page. So there'll still be ways for them to view it. So I think overall it'll just make the shelter run smoother. So I think the experience will be better
I
for
think the trade-off for the 2.5 hour delay is going to be a more clean and more presentable.
it does.
Safe.
People want to see, when they come in, they don't want to see the staff cleaning the dogs. They want to see the dogs.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great idea.
And to be safer with the floors.
Mhm.
And you might want to give it we're going to do this a couple weeks.
Yeah. I figured we'd probably start it, not obviously like tomorrow, but we'll start, give everybody a heads up on our social media pages and put signs up so that people are aware when we start to do it.
Signage.
Mhm.
You think?
You make that motion, sir?
I asked for the motion. Does someone want to make
I
it?
will make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All right.
Commissioner Barrow, Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Nice work, Melissa. Keep us on the court.
I'm on the schedule for next week.
Sweet.
Yes. So for floors and kennels.
If I see you on the front page again, I'll
Just
send it to you.
Yeah, between you and my mom, I should be covered now. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay, let's move on to our logistical items. Certify record of proceedings for June 2nd, 2022.
No move.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Motion to approve requisitions.
Second.
Barrow, Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Hey, motion to accept quote from Hammett Asphalt for the dog lot, which is budgeted for. That amount is 42,950.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Banks.
Yes. You need 2 copies of that.
You meant no.
Motion to accept the resignation of Brittany Brownwell at Child Support effective June 8th, 2022.
Commissioner Barrow, Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Okay, next up, we have 2 amendments from Job and Family Services. Obviously, these are common to agreements as they change throughout the year or the state calendar year, fiscal year, excuse me. Stacy, can we do these together? You need them separate.
you can do them together if you'd like.
Okay, the first is the contract with the chamber. Revised amount of 57340. And the second is with, New Hope. The revised amount is 56570.
Andrew, this doesn't impact. Correct? So it's an ARPA agreement.
It's their
There
ARPA,
are-
not
yeah,
ours.
just one for. So moved.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Mr. Mears,
Yes.
Mr. Banks,
Yes.
Next up, we have a request from Jennifer Moore, the new director at CAC, to purchase a vehicle using their funds. It would be for the amount of 48532. It's a 2023 Ford Transit 15-passenger van, which makes sense because they need to transport people to and from. So may we have that motion?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes. The wastewater,
Did I miss delinquent sewer? I thought we did sewer, but
skipped it.
I didn't.
I crossed it out like a dope. Motion to let's see, certify monthly sewer bills.
So move.
Sorry, guys. Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, just a little bit of other, and this isn't good news. Pat Dropsy yesterday afternoon, at 3:33 sent out, revenues and expenses for May. I haven't got to expenses yet, but I did want to check revenues as I've been checking sales tax. And sales tax is, falling precipitously. Use that word. Again, if you recall, through the first quarter of 2022, we were 14.5% better in sales tax collection year to date from 2021. In just 2 months, so we're talking March to March financials to May. We are now the exact amount. We are now at 9.4%. It has fallen more than a third year to date in just 2 months. And the May 21 collections, when looking at May 22 collections, were basically identical. So sales tax continues to drop, which I don't think you have to be an economist to see what's going on around you. Gas prices are at extremely high prices. Inflation continues to be high. And obviously the result are people spend less money. So that's the bad. If there's any good to take away, although this is shrinking as well, we are still 6.7% better than 2021 year to date on an apples to apples comparison, taking out coronavirus reimbursement. But if you figure inflation at over 8%, we're not doing better than inflation from a revenue perspective. So something to think about as mid-year budgets are just turned in. Had a conversation with Pat Dropsy yesterday. Carl or Al, you can call him. But I think Pat, if you remember, as we have been talking budget, Pat had concerns with the economy, and rightfully so. Pat is not comfortable approving any revenues beyond what we had set for 2021. So people are going to need to take notice come budget season, because this is tangible data that's coming our way that the Richland County government's economy is slowing, and quickly. Comments from you guys?
How do we stack up against other counties? Seems like
Yeah, let me go in and look. They send that out. The Department of Taxation sends that out. Let me go in and see if I can pull that.
Well, obviously, we're gonna have less money to work with. Increased demand. So we'll have to, a lot of people are gonna have to readjust our departments. Did I say all departments? Change it to all.
So if you look at it from a state perspective, Cliff, and they send that out. State of Ohio, the county sales tax collections only showed 1% better in 2022 than 2021. So what we got, which was only slightly better, is about 1%. So we pretty much, they showed, now it's weird, and I'm going to say this. They initially showed us at minus 4% in collections, which is right on their end, but because we share with the municipalities, it's never spot on to what the state shows. So from a state collection standpoint, we were worse than what the average was. But if you're looking at what we actually hit our general fund, we were slightly better, only slightly better.
As of April.
If I look at surrounding counties, Huron showed -8%. Morrow showed 3% better. Ashland showed -7%. So, this isn't anything that's shocking, right?
Mhm.
Knox was at, they were 5% better, so good for them. But yeah, it only showed 1% better from 2022 to 2021. We're at 8.5% inflation, right? Over 8. Depending on what you look like. So I don't think the 2023 budget season, unless something changes, is going to be a fun process. And rightfully so. I mean, people are going to say inflation's going up, and we need to have wage increases. But if you recall, we have a general fund policy that says we pass a balanced budget, regardless of our carryover. So,
Interesting that some of the more populous counties are showing positive, like Franklin is +3, Delaware +9, Cuyahoga +4.
yeah, Delaware's
Lucas is flat for Toledo.
Delaware. Any questions after that? Good news there, Carl?
What's Wayne?
Wayne showed 8% better.
What did you say Richland County was? Because I got a number.
All right, so you have to remember, we share our sales tax. So with the state, from a state collections standpoint, we were 4% worse in 2022 and 2021. But at the end of the day, when Pat wipes off the share and the amount they get, we were nearly even in 2022 when compared to 2021 in May.
Just for my own journalist trying to understand government math. You said for the first quarter, you were 14.5% better than 2021. By the time May gets factored in, that's dropped down to 9.4% better.
That's correct. Dropped more than a third year-to-date comparison in just 2 months.
What's the 1% better, 4% worse? What are those numbers from?
Okay. So let's just talk Richland County government world perspective. Okay. Take the state collections out of it because that's ultimately what hits our bottom line. Okay. What hit our bottom line in May of 2021, 1,788,654. What hit our bottom line in 2022 from a sales tax perspective was 1,791,337. You're talking $30,000 out of 1.8 mil. Basically the same thing.
But year to date, you're still 9.4% ahead of what you collected in 2021.
Correct. That is way slowing because again, at the end of Q1, we were 14.5% better.
So it's the 0% in May year-over-year that's causing.
Don't forget, we're only 2% better in April. So we're
Trend doesn't look good.
Tony, so to follow up on Carl's question, when you're talking about state figures, state is talking total collection, state and the.
well, but then you're also, I'm talking non-auto.
No, wait, I'm looking, hear me out first. Basically, those state figures include the state share and the local income tax, and the figures that you're talking about year to date are strictly from the local sales tax. Is that correct or not? No?
No.
Okay, go ahead then.
It's what the state collects and sends to Richland County. They take their share and keep it. Ours gets a little more tricky because we're one of only 2 counties, to our knowledge, that shares our sales tax with other counties. So Pat takes those
With other counties.
or other municipalities, subdivisions, excuse me. So Pat, however he does it, you're going to need to get with him. But Pat does what he does, sets aside what we share with the other subdivisions, and then that remaining hits our general fund.
So are you saying then you could even be higher if you didn't share the money?
Sure. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that's way before our times. That happened in the 80s. The townships, there was agreements between the political subdivisions and the county, and we're not complaining at all. They were instrumental in my understanding passing a sales tax increase permanently. So as part of that agreement, we share sales tax with our subdivisions.
Okay, I understand that. It's still a little confusing to understand the difference between the state figures and local figures, because it doesn't make sense on how you could be under in one and over in the other.
Because we allot a certain amount for the year. If you recall, we'll approve what we're going to share with the subdivisions. And so then Pat knows every month, however he comes up with what he takes off the top to give to the subdivisions.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is, if you said the county would be even further ahead if you didn't share, then you're still ahead no matter whether you're sharing or not. And why are you showing ahead with what you receive compared to what the state is saying it's collecting?
That's the non-auto. The auto portion, we're 3% better than last year, or excuse me, we were 3% better in that specific April collection. So you can factor in auto a little bit.
So the state saying we're negative.
The state and the non-auto sales tax. But again, this is just, this gets tricky because these were April collections. So we're not going to hit, it's going to hit a couple months from now, Al.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so in other words, the state's reporting its collection, but it hasn't told you how much it's giving you yet.
So hold on. Let me try this. So April, let's see here. So, these April will hit because these were remitted in March. So that'll be April, May, June. So I got to go back 2 months and see if I can find. I'd have to go back to their collections 2 months ago to see how close we were. You follow?
Yeah.
But that's the answer to your question. It's very complicated and a pain in the butt.
Yeah, just like the difference between state budget and local budget and school district budget.
So I look at the state figures, obviously, and they're not trending well. So I would honestly, though, expect it could be as early as next month where we have worse collections in 2022 than in 2021. I would not be surprised, and it looks like that's what it's going to be. Does that make sense, Al?
Yeah. All right. Let me make sure I understand too. Then those up and down figures that you reported for the other counties, those are what month collection according to the state? May collection?
There are March collections that hit in April that eventually get to the counties 2 months. So that would get to the counties in June.
Okay. So
Whatever the state.
In other words, we haven't seen that money yet.
No.
Okay.
And then another thing I do is at the end of the month before Pat closes out the month, I go into Munis. At least I am nearly all the time, but I go into Munis to see if our collections hit. So I want to see the actual amount we brought in. So I'm actually looking ahead before Pat sends out his financials.
Okay. I think I understand, what you're doing now. Thank you.
Your April and May collections are actually the first ones from 2022. It was January, February.
Yes, because again, you're 3 months behind. So you're now seeing 2022 actuals hitting our books.
In April was like 2%, and May was pretty flatlined,
Trying to get,
30,000.
yeah,
Slow, but-
so not good, not good at all, but not surprising.
One thing that kind of mystifies me a little bit, and maybe it's easier than I think, but if prices are higher, shouldn't your sales tax collection be higher, or does the fact that people are stopping shopping, does that offset any gains you get from the higher prices?
Well, I'm no economist, but you have gas and food, and that doesn't hit us. People are going to spend their necessities and not their extracurricular, their non-necessities.
Okay, so any increase in sales tax that you get is offset by a decline in amount of purchase.
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
And you also have,
More is spent on items that aren't sales taxable, Al. So again, yeah, gas and food, we don't.
Gas and food.
Discretionary spending stuff.
The discretionary spending has stopped.
people buying less clothes, buying, maybe instead of buying something at a $50 and they say, gee, we can't afford that. Let's buy a $40 item. Going out to eat, people aren't going out to eat as much, or when they do go out, they're cutting down and saying, let's don't get the T-bone steak or the ribeye. Let's do something a little different.
I have a picture from a friend yesterday. Waiting in line, there was a gas station where gas was $4.69. Look at this long line, and they ran out of gas. This has now become less anecdotal and more reality. And he has a good job, and his wife has a good job, and he waited in line. I wouldn't wait in line, but money is money, so I'm never gonna to criticize what others choose to do to save a dollar. But here it is. And by the time he got to the pump, they ran out of gas.
Price is double what it was this time last year.
Was it Walmart?
No, it was
My God.
area. I can get the exact gas station. It's not our local gas station.
Walmart had it cheaper than anybody else. And my neighbor texted me, hey, it's so-and-so, you got to get up here. And she showed me the line, and I'd filled up the night before.
So this is real stuff. And it's our bank account, meaning the taxpayers' bank account, the Richland County government looks like it's on track with what the economy's doing.
Do you think there'll have to be any mid-year budget corrections for 2022?
No, I mean, we usually don't go back to them and say correct them. We at least like to look at them. And then especially now, we want to see how the economy, maybe we get an uptick. But the dollars are what the dollars are. And if we're projected to have X in revenue, then we'll pass a balanced budget.
We've had at least one department, maybe two, who uses a lot of gas, mention that they're going to come in with some ideas on how they can save and not drive as much.
Well, you could ride a bike to work or purchase an electric car like Pete Buttigieg.
Like true.
Yeah, right. You can buy $70,000 electric car.
Well, and you
That's cool.
budgeted off of the auditor's budget revenue projections, which are not changing at this point.
I mean, Pat is very conservative, but look, the way our numbers are trending, I'm not in disagreement with him saying, I'm not saying we're going to make more in 2022 and 2021. Year to date, okay, because I track that too. I mean, I look at our big revenue sources because that makes up most of our budget. But, year to date, if you take out, again, coronavirus relief funding in 2021 and just look at our top revenue sources, we're only 6.7% better. So that's going down as well. And then if you pull up where we were in March with that, to give you an idea, let me pull that up. hold on now, hold on. Let me make sure I get all this right. Let me cross this out. All right, so let me go back. May of 2022.
It's gonna look, or, excuse me, Carl.
Yes, we were,
Like there's two of us here, because I know you can't see.
I gotta wait for him to lift his head.
our top revenue sources, I misspoke, excuse me. Our top revenue sources, looking at May of 2021, May of 22, we were 8.61% better. In March, 11.8% better. Now that's a lot of sales tracks driven, but if you look at other figures, you guys, so May, okay, our top revenue sources. Interest earnings, 34% worse than 2021, and they weren't good in 2021. Conveyance fees are 6% better.
Doesn't amount to much money.
Local government is 17% better. Casino tax is 18% better. We've already discussed sales tax. Building permits, right? Building materials. Remember when the economy was going well? Negative 4.5% worse, and that's with inflation. So you're compounding it when you're worse year to date with inflation. So it's not just sales tax. Good. All right. Seeing no other business, we will adjourn at 10:42.